Hello and welcome back to the Kokino Podcast. Today's episode is going to be pretty short because I don't really want to record it. But, I have to record one of these episodes a day, and I'm fine with that, and I'm going to do it. But the reason I don't want to record it right now is because I'm currently in a mindset where I'm trying to better myself at storytelling, and I've come up with a new idea on how to do it. And usually whenever I come up with a new idea on how to better myself with storytelling, it ends up like I end up focusing on it and trying to hone in on it and use it as much as possible until it just stops working. Like that's usually what happens. Like I'll come up with a new idea, for instance, like, in order to tell a good story, I just have to be loud. I just have to yell. And I'll try that idea. And then I'll tell a story, yelling and being loud and being, obnoxious or whatever. And it'll work the first few times. But then, eventually, I'll end up focusing too much on yelling, and it'll just be me yelling, and it won't be a story being told. And so it actually isn't a solution. And that's almost everything. Every solution that I've ever come up with for how to tell a story has been like that. I just have to commit. I just have to never stop talking. That works. And then, I try to tell a story, and I never stop talking, and it works. But then I try again and again and again, and then it eventually fails. So it's like it always eventually fails. And this new technique that I've thought of just now might be another one of the things that eventually fails. But I don't care. I'm just going to try it anyways. So this new technique is actually just a shift in perspective. I decided that instead of trying to come up with rules for what I should do when I'm telling a story, I'm going to come up with rules for what I should not do when I'm telling a story. Because I don't think I've ever really thought about what I should not do. And I think that the way that my brain works and the way that I have control over myself is I'm a lot better at not doing things, at abstaining from things than I am at, doing things and committing to things. It's a lot easier for me to, for instance, give up eating food all day. Because it's actually a chore for me to eat food, so it's hard for me to do things, and it's easier for me to abstain from things. It's easier for me to not swear. I can abstain from swearing very, very easily. I can abstain. I guess in my life I've just been used to abstaining from things, so it's a lot easier for me. So maybe if I approach the ways to tell stories, the rules to tell stories as things that I should not do instead of things that I should do, it will make it easier for my brain to process, and I will be able to better remember and stick to those rules. At least that's my theory. And so I'm just right now trying to work on coming up with rules of things that I shouldn't do while I'm telling a story. An example of a rule of what not to do during storytelling would be, for instance, that you should never backpedal. Backpedaling is basically when you correct yourself as you're telling a story. The best example I can think of is from the movie Finding Nemo. The main character, Marlin, at one point is trying to tell this joke about a mollusk and a sea cucumber, and he says it something like this. There was a mollusk, and he walks up to the sea cucumber. Well, he doesn't walk up, he actually swims up, and they're actually, they don't actually swim because they're just kind of staying in the same place at the same time. And then the sea cucumber, let me start over. There was a mollusk and a sea cucumber, and none of them are walking. And then he just keeps on trying to tell the joke over and over again and he keeps on correcting himself. And that's not something that's fun to listen to. It's never fun to listen to someone correct themselves like that. So that's my first rule. And I'm trying to come up with many rules. And that's what I'm working on right now. And so now that I have explained that, I think this is the end of the podcast. So I will see you guys next time.